morning.
Morning, Erica. How are you?
Good to see you. Good to see you again, and to share a live screen with you.
Thank you.
Um, let's just wait just a moment to let people kind of trickle in
Sure.
and join the conversation. How's the weather out there in Santa Barbara?
It is blue skies and sunny and probably in the mid 70s.
Well, we traded weather. I came home to San Francisco, and now it's cold and rainy, and you've taken the sun. So
Yesterday we had the wind last night. It blew down a tree. We had a power outage.
what?
It was my wife's birthday, and I had set up this Zoom call with all of her friends to sing her happy birthday because of
Oh.
sheltering in place. And right in the middle of that, the electricity went out and lost the
Oh.
electricity.
Well, I'm sure it made it more interesting.
It did. It did. It did.
Excuse me. So, well, I guess let's get started since
Okay.
it's time. And so I don't think that you really need any introduction, but for those of you that don't know Jack, Jack is a #1 best-selling author. He wrote the Chicken Soup series, which, Jack, I've spoken to many people in preparation for this conversation and just mentioned that we were going to be talking, and every single person was like, oh my God, Chicken Soup. I loved those books when I was growing up, and I share the same sentiment. So definitely a kind of a huge piece of many people's childhoods and past. So, and also the success principles, which for me personally was a huge part of my kind of transformation in my 20s and a really pivotal time in my life that you helped me through. And I've continued to follow your teachings over the years. So I so appreciate you, and I'm so grateful to have you on this morning. So I really wanted to get you on today to talk with you more about Young Living. You started a team a couple of months ago that I so excitingly joined. It was the easiest yes that I've ever had. And I wanted to get on and talk to you more about that, but also first and foremost, really just delve a little bit deeper into essential oils and how you're using them, how they're supporting you and your family throughout shelter in place, and talk a little bit more about that. So first and foremost, I really want to know what drew you to essential oils initially.
Well, originally I always thought essential oils were something when you went to get a massage, they'd put 2 or 3 under your nose and say, which one do you want? You know, lemongrass or lavender or eucalyptus or whatever. And that's about what I knew about it. You know, it was the spa thing. And then last October, there was a woman that took a training with me, and she was handing out essential oils during the training. And she said, you know, if we're going to do this exercise where we go back and identify limiting beliefs that might be blocking us in our life, if you do this, put this in your hand and rub it and smell it, it'll go faster. And it did. And people went faster, deeper, and more completely into releasing these limiting beliefs they had that were stopping them from being successful. And I thought, wow, this is pretty cool stuff. And then, like a lot of things that are pretty cool, you leave the seminars I did, and I kind of forgot that I learned it. And then so I went to India in February with my wife, and we spent a good month over there doing detox, and I lost 15 pounds, and we were just having a good time. Came back right as the coronavirus was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my staff, who was also at that seminar, had gotten more deeply into essential oils and started to realize that these have healing potential. These have the ability to change your attitude, literally by taking an essential oil like Peace and Calm and rubbing it and smelling it, or putting in a diffuser, which I have going now about 24 hours a day, either in my office, my living room, or my bedroom. What happens is these essential oils have a vibration in them. They're the oils from plants. And it's the essence of the plant's life energy. It's like you're one of my friends said, you're drinking pure nature.
Mm-hmm.
And the plants have an intelligence. And I didn't know this, but one drop of essential oil has 40 million trillion cells in it, molecules. And those molecules are instantly absorbed into the body. And within 20 minutes, every cell in the human body has aspects of that essential oil in it. So there are things that can stop you from getting viruses, from bacteria, from antifungal, antitumoral. And so first of all, it was like the health thing. I want to not get COVID. So basically I started, taking some of these oils that were antiviral. And then I began to realize too, they had other impacts as well in terms of like, there was this call I was going to make that was a little bit scary. And there's an essential oil called Valor, which is a put together for brave. You did that this morning, right?
Yeah.
And I see your diffuser behind you.
Yeah.
And what happens is that I use that in my diffuser, and all of a sudden I just felt more brave, and it was amazing. And then we did a session with a guy named Dr. Benjamin Perkis, who developed something called aroma therapy technique, aroma freedom therapy, AFT. And I've learned since then that there are all these methodologies that can actually heal things faster. For instance, you know about tapping, where you tap on these little points. If you put essential oils on your fingers before you start tapping, that energy of that essential oil accelerates the tapping. I only learned that 2 days ago, and I've been
That's amazing.
yeah, I co-authored a book called Tapping into Ultimate Success with a tapping specialist named Pamela Brunner. So there was that part. And then I learned that you can use essential oils. They have a product called Thieves, a product line. So now my laundry soap, my dishwashing soap, my hand sanitizer, my hand soap, all these things, my toothpaste, my mouthwash, are all in this line called Thieves. The reason it's called Thieves, which is a weird name to name anything as a product, is that back in the pandemic in the 1300s, when 1/3 of the world's population was wiped out, there were these thieves who were robbing graves, but they never got sick. And when the king finally figured out that was happening, he brought some of them to the court and said, "Why aren't you guys getting sick? I'll give you a more lenient message, a punishment if you tell me why." Turns out they were mostly from like the Eastern Europe, and they were using things with oil they put on their body with cloves and cinnamon and different herbs that had these essential oils in them that kept them from getting the virus that was passing around the world at that time, like the pandemic then. And so it's like the whole world of essential oils. I mean, I've read 4.5 books since I got involved with this 4 weeks ago. I got involved. Your aunt Patty works with me. Got involved, or not your aunt, but your husband's aunt, and then she got you involved, and we went from having 31 people in our organization to 403 people as I sit here today in 6 weeks. In 6 weeks. So what really got me excited, and I think what has you excited as well, in addition, is that there are so many people out there that are sequestered at home that don't have a way of making a living. I mean, you've managed to do some stuff online, and so a lot of us have pivoted. We're developing and offering courses online, coaching online, mastermind groups. But we had to cancel a whole bunch of trainings because people can't come together. You can't do big yoga classes anymore. And so I was looking, what's the way where we can help people have a home business, where if you're sequestered at home, you can build a business over the next 3 or 4 months that could literally give you a lifetime of we call it multiple sources of income, passive income, because once people enroll under you, the products are so amazing, they just keep using them. And so you have this monthly order that people make, and your life becomes, I'm now, after 6 weeks, my check for next month, and it's only the 15th of the month, is $3,000 commission. So I imagine 6,000 by the end of the month. And my goal by the end of the year, if you do 2 times 2 times 2, you enroll 2, they enroll 2, they enroll 2 once every month. By Christmas, I'll be making $1 million a year just in these essential oils.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. Yeah, it is really exciting for me. I have done a little bit of stuff online, but I'm also pregnant. I don't know if you know that, but we're expecting our second child, and it's been initially it was really hard. It's hard to teach and practice and do this online thing. So my career has kind of halted a little bit, and I've done much less stuff that I would normally do online. So this opportunity came at a perfect time, because I actually I don't think I've told you this, but I've been using Young Living for years, about 3 years, and after I had my son, I had really bad postpartum depression and anxiety just out of nowhere. I'd never dealt with it before. And a very dear friend of mine, she handed me Stress Away. And I, like you, was like, okay, like, up until that point, I really thought that essential oils were for massages and that kind of thing, and had really no idea. And what this really good friend of mine, she started to explain to me about how toxic perfume is. At that point, I mean, my whole life up until that point, I was one of those people that would just douse myself in perfume. I think, like many of us did, really not knowing or understanding just how toxic perfume really is. So when she started to explain that to me, I was like, oh, like that's not what I want on my body or around my brand new baby. So I started to actually use, I really love the smell of Stress Away. So I started to actually use Stress Away as a perfume, and I would roll it on my neck. I would put it on the inside the on my wrists. And what I started to notice, in addition to this really lovely scent, which I would wear around, is that it would calm my central nervous system. So whenever I get nervous, and I kind of run nervous, like it's just part of, I have to accept that that's just kind of part of me. So what I would do is I would sit in my car and I would just smell my bottle straight from the bottle. Just take few really deep inhales and exhales. And I started to notice that this really like seemingly simple bottle of plants was helping me pretty significantly. And as my son got older, I would put it on the back of his neck. So when Young Living kind of came back into my universe, it was like, oh, like I love these products. I love Stress Away. I'm already using them. I'm really interested in non-toxic living. Like you mentioned, the laundry detergent. My husband is the worst. He loves smelly stuff. So it's been this process of kind of weeding out these really awful things like candles, like Glade candles. I'm like, get these things out of here. Glade candles, goodbye. Tide, goodbye. All of these kind of things that are not so great for us, that we've just been weeding them out and incorporating these non-toxic products into our home, which has been so cool. So I'm really interested. I kind of want to hear. So I've done lots of meditation with you. I know you're a big visualizer. You spoke a little bit about how the oils have helped your practice with tapping, and I'm interested how you're using the oils in your daily practices now.
Well, there's a practice called Great Day, where there's about 4 or 5 oils, and what you do, you rub some on your hands, you smell them, you rub some on your heart. There's one called Joy, you rub on your heart. There's another one you rub on your right above your navel. And so these oils have different energies, and there's a whole Dr. Gary Young, who was a naturopathic doctor who originally created all this. That's why it's called Young Living. He formulated different oils, different from different plants that have different energies, and I'm using them that way. I start my day that way. We're going to start a thing in June, as you know, called the Emotional Reset, where literally there's 6 oils you use, and you put them on in the morning and you put them on at night. And people have had major breakthroughs. The woman introduced me to all this. When she first discovered these oils, she was at home for about 6 years. She was not going out into the world because her father died this horrific death, and it just kind of wiped her out. Mm-hmm. And just by using these oils, she'd had brain scans and everything. And after 1 month of using these oils, she felt different. She started going out again. The doctors did a brain scan, MRI, fMRI, etc. And the brain scans were different just from applying these oils and then forgetting about it. Then you can also, I put them in my diffuser. There's one called White Angelica, which is basically the last thing I put on for a great day. And you just rub it on your hair. And it's not like it's oily or anything. You just rub it in your hands. It almost dries immediately. And you rub it on your hair. You just kind of go down your body all the way to your feet. Even though I'm already dressed, it's not like it's almost like you're refortifying the protective aura around your body, your biomagnetic field. So my wife and I are doing that. I put lavender on my feet at night. Mm-hmm. My wife used to have totally restless leg syndrome. When she was falling asleep, her legs would be jerking, myoclonic jerks. That doesn't happen anymore. She used to wake up around 3 o'clock in the morning. That's not happening anymore. If she had a little slight headache the other day, there's something called Panaway. She just rubbed it on the temples right here, both places, but within, I'd say 10 minutes, the headache was gone. In the middle of the afternoon, I used to always go for a snack, and it was usually some kind of energy bar. Well, those energy bars are full of sugary. I don't care even if they're honey or whatever they are. There's a lot of calories in them. And so I had ballooned up to about 230 pounds, about 5 months ago. And right now I'm at about 211. And so I'm not eating snacks anymore. I just take a little peppermint, rub it in my hands, do that, maybe pour a drop or two in my diffuser. And within a minute or two, I feel energized and I'm ready to go. So there's a dog. We have a very nervous dog. It's a rescue dog. Mm-hmm. And last night it got really windy down here. That's why the electricity went out last night during my wife's Zoom call with all her friends singing happy birthday, because some tree went down. And whenever the wind starts to blow, my dog gets very nervous. So basically we would just take Stress Away and put it on our hands and then just pet the dog. And within minutes, the dog got calmed down because it absorbs down through the hair follicles into the skin. And the same thing works for dogs and cats. The other thing we discovered about our dog using Thieves, which is this cleaning line, is our last two dogs died of cancer about 3 years ago. And that's when we got the rescue dog to replace them. And I realize now, I used to drop food on the floor. Like if I was eating a turkey sandwich, which I've gone plant-based, so I'm not eating turkey anymore. One of the things I did when I was in India, but I would just drop a little piece of turkey on the floor and the dog would lick it up. And not realizing that whatever floor cleaning we were using had toxic chemicals in it. And the dog, every time it would lick something off the floor, which is anytime anything would spill when we're cooking, whatever, it was eating those toxic chemicals. Now, I don't know for sure that's the only thing that caused the cancer that she had. But the point being, there are all these places where toxic chemicals are sneaking into your life. Lipstick, average over-the-counter lipstick like you'd buy at Nordstrom's or something like that, or Sephora, has about 41 known carcinogens in it. And so all of a sudden, we have a cosmetics line as well that are all made out of basic minerals that's non-toxic. And so the makeup people are putting on, the skin absorbs. Amazing. That's why when you put an essential oil on, it absorbs very quickly. And within 20 minutes, it's in every cell in your body. And so when you're putting your makeup on, you're putting on, the soaps you're using in the shower, all that stuff is being absorbed. The water we drink, it's why I have filters on my water, etc. So that's basically how I use it. And also sometimes I'll put a drop of lemon in, essential oil in my morning drink. I do a blender drink every morning with, blueberries and protein powder, and I've switched to their protein powder as well now. So I'm pretty much, I have all the merit badges of like the different products I'm using. But it's taken me about a month and a half, 2 months to learn as much as I know and figure out, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that.
I need to get some white Angelica. I too have a very nervous rescue dog, so I'm excited to do some stress away on him.
Yeah, very good.
What's your favorite oil?
Well, I love the white Angelica. I love frankincense. Frankincense is kind of the king of all oils. If you remember in the Bible, the three wise men, they brought frankincense and myrrh to the baby Jesus, in the manger and all that. And then also I have to say the lavender. I like the smell of it, of course. But at night, sometimes I rub some on my pillow. Mostly I just rub it in my hands and smell it, and rub it on my feet. And so those are three. And then I keep experimenting. I found out rose has the highest vibration of any oil. So this is the other thing. You teach yoga, you teach meditation. It's all about vibration and frequency. And so every oil has its own vibration, its own frequency. And some of those frequencies are related to frequencies on the organs of the body. So if you have a sluggish liver, you get up in the morning, you feel, foggy brain. That's because your liver is too toxic. And so rubbing a certain oil on the liver, it has the same vibration. It activates that. For your thymus, for your in your brain, the pineal gland, etc. So I'm just starting to learn about that. That's a whole other chapter of a book. There's some really thin books that have so much information in them. They're so easy to learn. But it takes a while. It's kind of like, you get into anything, you've got to learn about it.
Yeah, that's been my experience for sure. White Angelica, I've never even smelled it, but I keep hearing about it. I'm like, I need to get some, like now, yesterday.
Exactly.
But yeah, Stress Away was just my main oil for many years. And I used it in my yoga classes when I was assisting people. And people loved it so much. So it's been really fun to kind of, Valor comes in the starter kit when you get started with Young Living, and I'd never smelled it before. And I've just been so drawn to it. I think I'm just one of those people that when I find something that I really like, it's just on repeat, So Valor's been going for, Valor and Stress Away have been going in the diffuser all the time.
Well,
and go ahead.
Alice on our team, she's my sales director. And when the COVID-19 panic hit, and then we were all locked down and we can't do live trainings anymore. We had two trainings scheduled with about 300 people in each training, and we're training with 50 people that were paying $15,000 to get trained to be trainers, and all that got shut down. And we were worried we were going to have to give everyone their money back, and that was like almost $1 million in deposits, which would have been a real major hit to our company. I mean, really major. And so she had to call all these people and basically talk them into transferring to a future date, maybe taking a different online training. She was really, really scared. And she had a bottle of Valor that she had bought years ago that she'd never really used. And, and someone said, just do the Valor. So she put Valor in her diffuser. And basically she said, I felt like I could do this. And she said, all day long, I'm talking to these people. It's really hairy conversations, you know, and a week of conversations, you know, hundreds of people. And she said, I don't think I would have got through it without it. And so it's like each of these has a an effect on you, the vibrational effect in terms of either calming you down, energizing you up, making you feel more courageous, making you feel more loving, there's one called gratitude. You know, we all talked today about gratitude exercises and how you have to be grateful for what you have to get more of what you want. And it's just incredibly clear. I actually picked up gratitude. I have about 12 of them sitting on my desk here. This is just a little package of a few that are in there, and they're all scattered all over. And I just picked up one while I was talking on a thing like this and just opened it up, didn't even look at it, and smelled it, and kept on going. And then all of a sudden I was feeling really grateful that everyone was on the call. Just like, that's how powerful these are in terms of that. And there's one for forgiveness. When we do our inner child work, there's one called Inner Child that actually gets you back into that natural state of creativity and wonder. It's almost magical. I mean, it really is. Like you go, really? That really worked?
Yeah, I know that. Well, it really struck me when you spoke about the toxicity of the chemicals that we use in a lot of our products, and you know, bringing a new baby into the world and having a 5-year-old son. And these are things that I think about now that I know more information about, you know, how these toxic products are affecting our bodies and disrupting our hormones and are carcinogenic. It's really kind of spurred this passion and passion to really start to make that swap and switch, and also to share with other people these things, because a lot of people don't know or don't understand these things. So it's kind of like my new, I think we're both really jazzed up about it. I mean, it's hard not to be once you have the experience and recognize the power that these oils have in your life and on the people's lives that you love around you. So I know you had mentioned when we first started chatting about passive incomes, and now more than ever, it's so important to, whether it's with Young Living or not, why now more than ever, it's so important to have a passive income, something that you can do from home to really help you during this time. So I'd love to hear more about that.
Well, you know, depending on who you listen to, and I think most of the scientists like Dr. Fauci and some of the people from the CDC that have been muzzled by the administration, is they're talking about this. And also in the state of California, where we have a governor, I think is a little more intelligent than many of them. What happens is that they just announced in LA that Mayor Garcetti expects he's going to keep the city locked down until August and possibly through August, that the schools like UCLA are not going to open in the fall. It's all going to be distant learning. And so basically you're looking at 2, 3, 4 months. And some people are saying there's going to be a huge wave again in the fall, which will shut down everything again. So the question will be, how can you build a business from home that is stable and what's the word I want? Non-removable, if you will, so that as you go through the next year or two, because they don't know when they're going to find a vaccine for this. And I'm not a vaxxer myself. I basically don't like putting vaccines in. I feel my immune system's strong enough right now based on everything I'm doing, both in terms of diet, nutrition, and also using the essential oils, but that's another story. But I think everybody needs for years I've been teaching, have multiple sources of income. You want to be making money while you're sleeping. And when you get people involved in this, like you are, you're now someone who's going to continue ordering these products because you've got children you want to protect. You've got certain states of consciousness you want to maintain, like you just said, the white Angelica. That's true for me. And we're doing this challenge in the month of June where we're going to get everyone doing the emotional reset so people can like literally get rid of the emotional blocks that are in their body so they can be coming from love and joy and non-fear. Fear is the big killer of the immune system, by the way. And so when we're afraid of getting COVID, or we're afraid of losing our house, or not having enough money to pay our rent or pay for our car payment or our food for our kids, what happens is the immune system actually goes down because the energy is in the amygdala instead of in the prefrontal cortex of your brain when you're in fear. This is where rational thinking, business thinking, creative thinking all occurs. So we need to have something you can do from home. And the other thing about this that I didn't know when I first started is that this is what we call legacy income. This is one of the few companies where your downline is actually, you own it in a sense. In other words, this is your business. You can sell this business to someone else. You can will it to your children. And most people, if they do this for 4 years, they have an annual income of like about $100,000 or more based on just doing pretty much nothing at that point. You know, most people get into it so much they just keep enrolling forever. The person that enrolled me, Catherine, she has 30,000 people in her downline. And I read about this chiropractor who his wife got involved in it. He thought it was a bunch of woo-woo stuff and he didn't care about it, but he was working his butt off, like, 12-hour days doing chiropractic for people. And then all of a sudden his wife's income was bigger than his. She wasn't working that much. He quit his chiropractic office, got involved with her. They have 100,000 people in their downline, creating over $100 million worth of revenue for the company, which is netting them about $6 million a year. So, and they don't do much anymore. So I'm not like attached to money. I have plenty of money from Chicken Soup for the Soul. But what I did want, I wanted a regular flow of income that I could count on. Because with book royalties, it's up and down depending on what's going on. And right now, most people are not in bookstores buying books. They're buying children's books on Amazon because everyone's trying to figure out how do we homeschool our children and keep them active. I saw this great meme the other day. It said, started homeschooling today, already had to suspend 2 kids for fighting and fired 1 teacher for drinking on the job. It's like,
yes.
But the idea being that I think everyone literally very quickly could be making several thousand, $3,000 a month or within 3 to 4 months if you take it seriously, as you have. You've been enrolling people, and I've been doing the same thing.
Yeah. It's
eventually what happens is so cool about it. Every once in a while, you find someone like you or me or Patty or whoever who is an enroller. And then all of a sudden, these people under you are doing all the work, and you're just watching the numbers that you're earning go up, and you don't even know where it's coming from. And you can go into the computer and figure it out. But it's a nice passive income after a certain amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been very long that I've been involved, and it's been wild. It's been wild and exciting, and it's been really fun and educational. And yeah, so I've just been so grateful to be a part of it and to learn, right? It's like really quick, because I want to be respectful of your time. But for me, the yes was so easy because the opportunity to learn and continue to learn from someone who is the best in the industry at helping people be successful and change their lives was like, of course. I mean, that's just a no-brainer. So there's a couple of folks that have been asking in the comments how they can join the challenge that you spoke of in June, that starts in June. And the way that you can join is you just message me and I'll get you set up. Also, my friends that are interested, folks watching that are interested in this business opportunity with Jack and I, DM me, send me a DM. I'm happy to speak with you more about it. I'm sure Jack would love to talk with you more about it as well. This is such a cool opportunity, and one that I think it's one of those easy yeses, right? And do you have anything?
Really, and the cool thing about this, if you decide to do it as a business opportunity, it costs you a couple $100 to get started. And literally you get a starter kit. It has, I think, 9 or 12 oils in it. It's everything you need to get started. It gives you a catalog of all the stuff. It gets you into our system. We have a training every Tuesday where we have someone educating you about the oils, educating you about the business. We had a call last night with Dr. Ed Daly. He's one of the, I'm seeing all the people from Iran. This is cool. I actually spoke in Iran last year. well, about 2 years ago. And but what's cool is that he was teaching us about the immune system 2 weeks ago, and last night he did an hour on detoxification. This guy's a nurse. He could be a functional medicine doctor. He knows so much, but the amount of education we're getting every week for free that you'll get just on health and wellness is worth the membership.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have also, it's easy to enroll your friends because we have these enrollment calls every Wednesday and Friday where you just bring your friends. We do all the work and talking, and then basically you just sign them up after the call. So you don't have to learn all that much in the beginning. It's really, but like you're saying, it's a great education. I take copious notes. I review them at night. My wife says she hasn't seen me this excited since about 10 years ago. And I'm a little kid in a candy store, just excited.
Well, so the question that I want to ask you after you saying that is what have you done in the past when you've been really excited?
Well, when we started Chicken Soup for the Soul, that turned into a company that I was able to sell for $63 million. And literally, I just got excited. All these people were telling me these stories I was telling them were so exciting, and they were loving it. And then I thought, well, I should put them in a book. And so I made a commitment to write 2 stories a week. Did that for a year. Ended up with the first Chicken Soup for the Soul book. That took off. Sold 10 million copies in the United States. Now with work, we had to do lots of, what today we'd call podcasts and interviews and things like that. Back then it was mostly interviews. And then with we did the Success Principles online course. So we're teaching the success principles that I teach. So that book took off and sold 27 million copies around the world in 27 languages. And then with the online course, we have 3,000 trainers now in 107 countries teaching the success principles. And if you get involved with us in the Canfield line of Young Living, we're going to be teaching you all these success principles as well as learning about the essential oils. And normally that, I charge out at $30,000 a day when I do talks. I'm doing an online course for a company in Bermuda about 3 weeks from now. They're paying me $30,000 for 1 hour of video. So wow. The value you're getting for free and I'm not trying to brag because I'm a very humble person normally, but I do think the information is life transformative, as it has been for you, Erica, and for your husband, for other people that you know. So that's all. I love the comment, Chicken Soup, very best book.
Well, again, thank you so much, Jack. I mean, it's just such a gift. It's a gift to be able to continue to learn from you and to have had this conversation with you and also to share our passion, right? To share our passion with others and to get other people excited and to offer them this, this way to really create financial freedom. I mean, ultimately that's one of the most amazing and invaluable things that you can offer someone. So if you're interested in joining the June challenge, please DM me. If you're interested in running with Jack and I in this business and playing big and doing something that could potentially change your family or your life, please DM me, let me know. I'm here for you. Hi, Maggie. And just thank you so much, Jack. I just want to just honor you and say thank you for taking the time this morning.
I'm just loving watching all the messages go by in Farsi and Arabic. It's like,
yeah, you have a lot of.
Well, you have a lot of reach all around the world. There's Poland, we saw Iran, we saw Italy, we saw India. It's great. I love you all back. People are saying I love you, so I love you all back. Thanks a lot, Erica.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jack. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk with you soon. Bye, you guys.
Bye, everybody.